Hello, I'm Christina, and I'm here with Martina, and we're your podcast hosts for Everyday Ordinary, Extraordinary Women. We are deep divers and avid students of life and powerful facilitators for healing. In real life, I am an intuitive healer who blends massage therapy with energy work, and I provide customized holistic services for my clients. Martina?
I am on mute. Look at that. Hello, everyone. I am a life coach specializing in parent and women empowerment, and I'm also a sound healer. And we both incorporate crystals and essential oils and angelic Reiki, and of course, intuitive guidance into our work.
We were inspired to create this podcast after pondering this question. What would a world look like where we can be inspired by every person? Usually, we're very quick to compare and judge ourselves and others. And when we do that, everybody's losing. Depending on my point of view, I can either feel small because I come out lacking, or arrogant and dismissive because I feel superior. Those are the only two options, and neither of those options make us feel very good. So here's our thought. Someone's everyday normal is someone else's extraordinary. Judgment comes from our first impressions. So we invite you, the listener, to go beyond first impressions and see the magic everywhere. There's inspiration at every corner if you're willing to look. Today, we're joined by Marie. So Marie, if you would, please introduce yourself to our listeners.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Marie Scibeck. I live just south of Boston, Massachusetts, on the South Shore, buried in the woods of East Bridgewater, Massachusetts. And I am a mom to two children, a boy and a girl, a wife to a fantastic fellow who happens to be a master plumber, which is very exciting. And I am in my regular day job, a fashion designer, pattern maker. But I am in the middle of a career transition, really towards leaning into yoga, Reiki and energy healing, and facilitating women's circles at a new business venture with my business partner. So I'm so excited to be here and talk about how extraordinary we really are on the everyday. Thank you for having me.
So happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. So if we really knew you, what would we know?
Well, that's a good question. So if people really knew me, and really on the surface, this is true, and I think this comes across really as a first impression. I am very positive all the time, and there's always a solution. There's always a path forward. And I think what people don't know is if they didn't actually know me, and if they didn't know me over the last couple of decades, that there really is a path forward. We've had, like everybody else, we've had, some tragedies, and some really challenges, so that I know that there is not a no. There's no no. You keep going, you keep putting one foot down in front of the other, because it always gets better. Everything always gets better, and everything really truly is going to work out. It's going to work the way it needs to work. And there is always sunshine tomorrow, always. So I think that's my whole ethos. Tomorrow is sunshine again. It's always going to come back.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. I'm a this too shall pass person, so that's always me too. Like, I may not be positive every single day, but I try to really lean on the positive side, and that things are always happening for a reason. And even if I don't understand it, and it may not look the way I think it's supposed to work out, that I can trust in that it is working out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That that trust and that faith, right? Trust and faith. It's hard to feel it. It's hard to touch it. But when you know it, you feel it. It's in your heart. You know that, things are always going to get better. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, like when you were sharing what came, like mine is, it's only a phase.
Yeah.
It's similar to what Christina says, right? It's like the terrible twos with the kids, right? Or whatever, right? It's like, it's just a phase. We can do this. We can do hard things for a certain period of time. And similar to Christina, this too shall pass, right? The sun's going to come out. It's going to change. Beautiful.
Always. Yeah. Well, it will always change. Yeah, it will always change.
Yeah.
Marie, I'm going to throw the icebreaker question at you. Tell us a funny, silly, or embarrassing story about yourself.
I knew you were gonna say that. And I'm like, God, what is this funny, silly, embarrassing story? And I'm sure that I have some, but I have a story maybe related to Martina, to what you just said, that, we can do hard things. So I don't know if this is funny or silly or embarrassing, but
Go for it.
sometimes I'm a little too big for my britches. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just, full of piss and vinegar sometimes. So, or I might show off or whatever. So a couple of years ago, our family was vacationing on Martha's Vineyard. We do an annual family camping trip in a tent with no electricity, which is so fun, by the way. If anybody needs to know, Martha's Vineyard has a family campground. That's incredible. Anyway, there is a gigantic pier that people jump off of in Oak Bluffs. It's over by the ferry. And my husband has no fear bones in his body. And he has been telling us for years that he has been jumping off this bridge and jumping off this bridge. And it's so fun. It's so fun. And our daughter, who I think she was 16 at the time. Anyway, she decided she was going to go jump off the pier, with her stepdad. And we're with another family and they're all jumping. I'm not jumping. And our son Joseph at the time was 6, and I would not let him jump. He wanted to jump. And I was like, it's like 20 feet in the air into the ocean. Absolutely not. So of course, Mary June was up there for, gosh, at least 20 minutes. We're all watching from the beach. And I said, I'm going over there. Hold my shoes. I'm going to go show her. I'm going to go show her that, we can do hard things. I'm going to go do this. Don't you know, I get to the edge and immediately that feeling came over me. And I said, I can't do this. I totally understand why she's not doing this. This is insane. In the meantime, my husband keeps going. He's like, this is great. This is great. This is not great. This is visceral. Every bone in my body would not let me launch off the pier. So of course, my husband is at the bottom saying, it's okay, Marie. It's okay. You can do it. You're just jumping in the water. Just have faith. Just jump. You're going to be fine. Everything is safe. Show Mary June you can do this. You can do hard things. Because of course, that's what I was telling Mary June. Mary June, get over the fear. We can do hard things. And now I'm faced with the do or die moment. I was up there for a solid 20, 25 minutes going, taking the step out, taking the step back, taking the step out, taking the step out, back. And finally, I said, I just have to go. I actually have to show her that I can do this, because now the whole beach is looking at me, cheering us on, like, look at the mom's gonna do it. She's gonna go. Crossing myself, blessing myself, like, not arguing, negotiating. I'm like, God, please just give me the strength to do this. I know we'll be fine. And I did it. And I'm pretty sure I screamed the whole way down. And then it was done. It was over with. Thank God. Don't you know, Mary June, for a whole year, thought about it. And this past summer, when we went back again, she jumped off the Jaws Bridge this year, where she thought about it for a whole year. And then she said, Mom, you want to do it with me? I said, no, I'm one and done. I already did it last year. So that's my story. It's kind of a funny story.
It is. It's a great story. And it's a great story about pushing past your fears because they're always there, right? And it's funny. I went skydiving thinking I would get past my fear of heights. You don't get past your fears. I mean, you get past them, you'll do stuff, but they're still there. They don't go away. I just know I can do I'm not going to die, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the point, right? It's like I have a friend who did a polar bear plunge, right? And she said afterwards, she said, it's just water. It's just water, right? But all the anticipation that we build up before, right? It's, it's so much bigger than anything else. I was, like as you were sharing, I was thinking that like when we went to Vancouver, we went down the bobsled.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm not so sure. And then I'm sitting in it, and they say, it's like there's gonna be a point where the pressure will push your head down. You just let it be, and then bring your head up afterwards. And it's a 45 seconds or something like that you go down, right? And I think I did not breathe the whole time down. I was so nauseous and disoriented when I got off that thing because it was like you go all the way into the curve, up, 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 and it's like, we're gonna crash. And but it's like, wow, yeah, I did it, right? In the end, it's like, I did it. It's done. I don't have to repeat it. Thank you very much. All good, all good. It was a good experience.
Skydiving. I don't have to do it again, but it was a great lesson of moving past my fears. So those are always good lessons. And a great lesson you taught your daughter. So kudos.
Yes. Yeah, and that's ultimately, right, as parents is like we have to lead the way, right? It's and there's at least for me, there's so many things that I would do for them that I would not do for myself, right?
Absolutely.
So beautiful, beautiful. So this is a multiple part question, okay? And you can just answer one question or all of them together, and maybe it's different questions for one, or it's one answer for all of them. Either way is fine, however much you want to share about this. So what made you who you are today? For example, what was your biggest lesson, or what took the most courage, or when did you stand up for something that mattered to you?
Those are a lot of questions. So I think to answer the question, I'm going to tell a story, and it might be a couple minutes. I'll tell the story. So one of the questions, well, there's a couple questions, but I want to start with the question that you guys had sent me about, tell us about a time that you took a chance for love. So I'm going to start this story here because that really has culminated into who I am now. And I'm going to start the story with my husband, and just a very brief background. Both of us were in the middle of he was in the middle of divorce proceedings, and I was in the middle of an extraordinary custody fight for Mary June, who's now 17. I won't go into all of that, but suffice it to say, both of us were home, relatively speaking, and licking our wounds a little bit, having a little bit of a pity party. And my mom had said, you need to go do something. Like it's time to get out. Things are going to get better, but you need to get out of my house. So and at the time I was working from home, which was kind of a new thing. That was in like 2007, really before working from home became like normalized. So she said, go get a job, go bartend, go wait tables again, go be social with people. This is going to pass. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this, but you need to go be around some people. And which of course, mothers are usually right. And in the moment, I didn't want her to be right. I just wanted to be like depressed and isolated.
Yeah.
So she pushed me out. In the same time, Joe, my husband, was also getting pushed out. His brother was like, you should probably go back out in the world again, Joe. Go get out there. And circumstances happened. I happened to be, waiting tables one night at a local place in the town that we both grew up in. And, Joe had heard I was there and had gone in a few times. I wasn't there. He went back in the third time and I happened to be there that night. It was a very busy night. And don't you know, I saw him walk in the back door and it was just like a movie. Everything went silent. We locked eyes and he walked all the way around the bar right over to me and he said, "Hi, I've been looking for you." And I said, "Hi." That's it. We have been together literally ever since then. So taking that chance on love, I was not looking for it. I was not ready for it. I don't know if that I took the chance, but that moment changed really the trajectory for both of us in a lot of ways. Ups, downs, left turns, right turns, backwards, all kinds of crazy things. But that opportunity for that heart opening for both of us, God, the universe, spirit, opened that door for us when we both really, really needed it. And so I don't know who took the chance. If we took the chance on each other, if, universe took the chance for us, but either way, we buckled up and it's been a ride ever since. But leading into how has that made me who I am now? And this is the part where you really need to buckle up. We got ourselves together. I introduced him to Mary June, who was a baby at the time. She was just over a year. Introducing to our families and, both sides of the family were a little skeptical, like, whoa, what is happening? There's a lot going on. But we knew what was happening. And then really some tragic things started happening. Joe's father died tragically. Then his stepfather died tragically. We got married, and then this is where it gets really rocky. We conceived right after we got married. And of course we were trying to conceive. Mary June was little at the time. I think she was maybe just before she turned 2. And this is right after we got married in 2010. And instead of the pregnancy progressing, it actually turned into a molar pregnancy, which led to gestational trophoblastic disease, which is incredibly rare. It's a tumor that takes over essentially, and it grows into your uterine wall. And it is awful. So I was diagnosed with that tumor, with that cancer in 2010, and years of chemotherapy, because it's pervasive. So it was really during those times, that was happening also while I was fighting for custody for Mary June out of state. Dealing with all of those things, dealing with, Joe's father, he was murdered in a foreign country. He lost his stepfather, who was his other, male role model. while he was taking care of me in the middle of all of this, and we had just gotten married. So it was, to say it was a lot is incredible. But we, both of us together, we didn't have an option. You just keep going, because both of us really believe, and we always have believed, that the sun comes out tomorrow. It always will. We are, we have all these dark, dark, dark moments that happen, and, they can kill you, or you're going to move through them and move past them. So for, for us, there was a lot of up and downs in there. We were, we lost, our first child together, really. We went through everything. We were allowed to try and conceive again. It resulted in the same situation, meaning we had a recurrence. So I had to go back into treatment again. I have a very nice round head, which is, I don't know, a little tumor humor. So, but through it all, we always knew it would get better, right? We always, always, always knew it would get better through perseverance, through grit. And we got on the other side of all of that. And we were actually able, to do pretty intensive IVF to have Joey, who is our 7-year-old. He's about to be 8 in January. To say that I was followed incredibly. We went through so much to have him. It was incredible. But that's all of that story to say is that really has made me who I am now, because I know that there is always light. There's always light that will come through again, that comes back again. And nobody's going to eat you. You just got to keep going, because it will always change. So that's who I am. And when I, especially when I lead women's circles and facilitate events, there is always a way out. It may not be an easy way, but there's always a way. There's always a way to move forward. And there's always a solution. And I genuinely feel that and know that. And I hope that when people know me and people work with me, and people, even in my, my fashion career, there's always a solution forward, always. And I think people genuinely feel that from me, is that, we're going to just keep going. We're going to keep going until we're done.
Pretty remarkable. Great. I was just thinking of, like, we don't even have to ask you your question about your superpowers, because it's perseverance, it's grit, it's, trusting that everything's gonna turn out, that the sun is coming out tomorrow. And it's such a testament to you and never giving up. It's just so beautiful.
Thank you.
So incredibly beautiful.
It's really inspiring, because that's a whole lot to go, and not just a whole lot to go through, a whole lot to go through when your partner's support systems have been taken away too. Like, to lose his father and stepfather, that's a lot of the support systems that would have gotten him through, helping you through your tough time. So I guess my next question is, what is it that you guys leaned into to really get through that times, and what else do you do now still to like fill you up and recharge your batteries? And it might be two different questions, but
Yeah, that's a good question. For Joe, he turned into himself, into his own strength. And sometimes turning into your own strength is not always the best option. It comes out, it bubbles out in, in other ways, or, diving into work too much, or avoidance, whatever that looks like. But Joe relies on himself, period. He does not rely on anybody else. Now, 10 years post all of that, he leans more on me. So going back into having conversations around the softer side of, having your masculine strength, knowing that being able to talk about things and letting things out, it took him decades to even really process what happened with his father and his stepfather. So during that time period, again, he turned in, and it was just plodding through the muck, really getting through it. My parents really helped a lot also. During that whole time, they kept pushing him. He was in the middle of taking all of his requirements for his master's plumbing license. And they made it to my house every Monday for class and pushed him out the door. Like, they would not let him quit. So we really leaned on them a lot. And I don't know how I got through it, to be honest. I was sick. Like, to say that out loud, I was sick for a really, really long time, and I really had to have other people help us and really help me. And even coming out of that now, being able to say, I need help with something is so hard. It's really, really hard for both of us to say, hey, I need help with something. Like, I need help. And I think that is kind of becoming a superpower also, is that we need help, whatever that looks like. We need help. We're relying on each other. We're relying on other people. But in reality, knowing that we really can't shoulder everything is a huge mark of maturity. I know for myself, we're hyper independent all the time. We're women, we run businesses, we manage a household, but even now, just saying, no, I need a minute, I need help. So how do we fill things up now? Yoga, of course, breath work, all of those things that I'm doing personally for myself too. But what I find myself also doing is like teaching those things to my family, teaching them how to stop for a moment, breathe into what it is that we're feeling. Because I think for a long time too, we just kept going. So we really couldn't feel anything, because sometimes you just have to keep going. And we do a lot of things outside. We connect. Really, we connect outside. We live in the woods. We have chickens. So, and where this may be surprising, both Joe and I are avid hunters. We have a really deep connection to the food that we eat and the food that we grow. And we really honor what that is. So how we're nourishing ourselves, and we're really aware of what that looks like. So like for Joe, and myself, we do make it a point to do weekends away with each other, or do weekends away, with friends, retreats. And but overall, like, being active and getting out into nature, that's what we do.
Always comes back to nature, right? It just,
Yeah.
the last one we recorded as well, it's just like going out to nature, hug a tree. For me, it definitely is being in a forest or being at the beach, like with the waves. I don't have to go into the water. I don't have to lay on the beach, but just like walking alongside the water, any form of water, right? Growing up in Switzerland, it was lakes mostly, you know, like, or the mountains. It's like nature. It's that space.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time outside.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You know, one of the things that, as you were talking, when you were sharing about, you know, like teaching your family what you learned, I just saw this, I think it was on Instagram, where she was talking about when you talk really fast, and it's usually it's coming from your mind. So if you take a deep breath and drop down into your heart or in your belly, automatically you're going to talk slower. You're going to feel more settled. You're going to, and it's fascinating, right? Because that's part of what I hear in what you're saying, right? The breathing exercises, the yoga is all coming back to you to be settled. Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. So if you had a magic wand and you could give people any quality, what would it be and why?
I thought about this earlier. Yes. And Christina, I think you had said it earlier also, in our pre-show conversations. I would give to everybody curiosity and wonder about the world and about, your relationships to the earth, to the sand, to the stars, wonder about our place in it, how we all fit, and curiosity about the connections that we have to each other, to our environment, to our world around us. That's what I would love to see more of. People just being curious. And I think what that does, it generates connectivity too. So that people are reconnecting. If they're connecting to themselves, slowing themselves down a little bit, and then being able to connect to other people. Even when, maybe we don't always, agree with other people, or we don't get other people, but we're still just people plodding around. So I think being curious and being really full of wonder about every experience that we can have throughout the day, even the little ones, I think that would be incredible.
Love that answer. Martina has this new challenge of learning something new each day, and I love this, right? Even if it's just a new word, but like I love now looking for learning something new in conversations I have with people. Like, ooh, what can I learn from this person I'm having? It's just a new fun game to play in life, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it takes stagnation away, right? It's like because it keeps our mind exploring and it gives us a focus to look for something. And it's really sometimes at the end of the day, and I'm like, okay, what did I learn today? What new thing did I learn? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea. But it takes me digging into what actually happened, right? It's like a retrospective also about the day. So
that's nice. Yeah, that's such a nice thing. We ask the kids, what did you learn today? And it's usually framed around what did you learn today in school, because they're in school during the day. But also, yeah, what did we learn today? I'm gonna ask Joe that for dinner later. What did you learn today?
it's a great dinner conversation. It's a really great dinner conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And highlight. We always liked highlights of the day too at the dinner table. That's always a fun one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And the rose, the bud, and the thorn. That's a good one.
I don't know there was one.
Oh, this is a good one. So there's the rose is the good thing that had happened today. The thorn is I don't really know about this one. And then the bud is sort of the hopeful thing that, maybe this will be something to look forward to.
I love that. See, now I just learned something new.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Check.
Yay!
Beautiful. But
Yeah.
what we would do on vacation is like the favorite moment whenever we're away traveling. It's like what was the favorite moment? What was your favorite? And you cannot repeat what somebody else said, so you have to become creative about it. Yeah.
So good.
Yes, that's a good one. Joe does that one all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good to be present to the great day you had. It's so good.
Mm.
Yeah. I like to do a little thing when I go to bed, and I haven't done it in a while, but that's why I love these conversations because you remember these things. It's just like a little thing. It's like I was thankful for the day. It was perfect, and I let it go, right? Like I don't need to like whatever happened today is done. I don't need to bring it into tomorrow. And yeah,
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah.
yeah, it was
Good things and
perfect.
bad things.
Yeah, it was perfect. I thank it, and I let it go. Yeah, good stuff.
Like that.
hmm So, what do you want to be when you grow up? So, like, if money and time weren't an option, what, who or what would you
Oh,
want to be?
I don't know. I know. I was thinking about that. If money and time were not an option, I wrote, I don't know yet. If
Yeah,
money and time were not an option, um, probably a beach bum selling like, ice cream on the, that's it.
yeah,
Really
I love,
simple. Really
I love it.
simple.
It's funny. My nephew is in college, but when he was in like, I think like high school, he wants to be a baseball player. He's in college playing baseball. He's been playing all-star baseball since he was young. But we're like, Kai, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he goes, either a professional baseball player or a bum in Alaska.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Like that's it. Like a simple life. It's either simply playing baseball to the best of my ability or living in Alaska and enjoying the peacefulness of it, right? Like
Yep.
and and some people are like, that makes no sense, but in my world that makes so sense. And it's so like who he is. Like those are my options.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny because I am going through this this career change. Again, I manifested it myself, but also now it's here. It really is happening. So I get that. That's simple. I don't want to make decisions anymore. That's what I don't want to do. Yes. Tell me if you want chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream. That's all. You want a cone or a cup? I'm gonna make you happy because ice cream makes everybody happy. And we're on the beach. We're getting sunshine. And if I'm hot, I'm gonna go jump in the ocean. That's what I want to do.
Brilliant.
It's interesting because it's not that much what you do that makes a difference. It never is, right? It's not what makes the difference. The difference is who you are and how you show up for people, right? And somehow in this patriarchal system we live in, we're so attached to our status and to what we are rather than who we are. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's like it's really you can be a beach bum and just make the world of a difference, and that's all that that you're here for, right? To
Yeah.
be
I
you
just hear
and
it's spending
enjoy
the day
life.
making people happy. That's
Yeah,
what I hear from that vision. Like
yeah,
being in
Yeah.
a beautiful place, spending the day making people happy. Like,
yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
yeah.
In the sunshine, making people feel good. That's all. Just spreading.
And enjoying life
Yeah,
in the process.
yeah.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
beautiful.
Thanks.
So last question.
Okay.
Now I just don't know which one to pick. um, what do you want people to remember about you?
I want people to remember, like when I'm dead or when they leave the podcast.
Whatever. When you
You
leave
get
the
to
room.
choose. You get to choose.
Um, I think, well, it's probably the same thing that, we live the life that we want to live. If we want to live in a positive space, then we can. It's your mind. You can change that. we always know, I always know that things are always going to get better, even when, they are dark. Things will always change. So I choose to know and believe and have faith that they will always change. So I think that's what I want people to leave me with, either in this life, the next life, or, this podcast, or, after they come in for a yoga class or a circle. Like, just know that you walk out and away from me, hopefully with sunshine, and that you actually really believe it and you feel it. That's what I hope.
Beautiful. I could tell you, I get left with that. So yeah. Yeah. It comes through loud and clear, your beautiful, sunshiny positivity. So
Oh my gosh, thank you for saying that. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you have a business. Do you want to brag about your business to people?
Sure. I would love to brag about my business. So my partner, Lisa, and I own Peaceful Pathways. It's a yoga, Reiki, and wellness studio. It's in Easton, Massachusetts. You can follow us along on Instagram at Peaceful Pathways _77. And our email address is peacefulpathwayseaston, EASTON @gmail.com. And we have some workshops coming up in December, January, and February. Some of them are tea and astrology. Some of them are mediumships. Some of them we have some kinetic art and circle groups coming up, in addition to regular yoga classes. So it's pretty exciting. Oh, and just my own shout out. I teach yoga nidra on Friday mornings from 10 to 11. And this is my favorite practice. You just come in and all you do is relax, and I just talk you through a meditation, and then you can leave and go on your way and carry it with you. So I love that practice, but that's what we do. So we are a community and a shared space, and we're so excited to really just bring peace and comfort and some relaxation, some mindful movement, and some wellness to our area. We're so excited.
We're so excited for you. It sounds so delicious that I am jealous. I am not in the area to come visit, but I will have to plan maybe next summer to come visit. So
That would be good.
yeah, for sure.
It's going to be a very long trip, Christina.
You
Not if
might
I'm
have
at
to
my
take
house
a
in the
road trip.
Adirondacks. I could go to my house in the Adirondacks and then go from there. So
Yeah.
I do a road trip every summer from St. Louis to the Adirondacks. My family has a house on Friends Lake, and so I'll have to make it happen.
You'll have to plan a retreat for all of your podcast guests, and we'll all come to you guys.
Whoa! Oh, whoa! All
Well,
right.
Christina has been talking about doing a documentary and going to every person we interviewed.
I want to go on a road trip and do a documentary and go visit people in person. But
Perfect.
But a retreat sounds like a great idea too.
Maybe Martina and I could come do some sort of sound healing at your space, like a guest thing, or we'll put our thinking caps on. So yeah.
That would be amazing. We could do all the things for all the people.
It would be crazy and fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll have to make it happen. You heard it here, so now it has to happen.
Look, I mean, I manifested a career change, and it's coming about 2 years in advance. So let's do it again. We'll just manifest everything.
Yeah, we're major manifestors, so we can make it happen. All right, everybody look for it happening in 2025.
I love it. Over the summer. And we'll be at the beach and I'll serve ice cream.
Yay!
Very good. Very good. So thank you. Thank you so much for being here with us, Marie. All that information that you gave us is going to be in the notes. So for anybody out there listening, just so you know, just scroll through the notes, find it, check it out. Check out was it Instagram and Facebook, right? Both of them.
Yeah. Yep. Instagram and Facebook.
So check it out, and thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, ladies, so much. I'm so honored and grateful. Thank you for asking me to join your podcast. And I hope it was good. I had a
Of
good
course
time.
it was. Of course it was. Are you kidding? We're so excited and so inspired by you. Thank you. And for all of you out there, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you love this, please leave us a review. Please share. Please always remember that you are extraordinary. You rock. And if you want to find out more about us, sorry, I forgot to say that before, in the notes are also our Linktree profiles where you can just find out more about Christina and I, okay? Until next time, have a wonderful day.
Bye for now. Marie, you get to end it.
Oh, bye everybody. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.